So we're just at our campground having our morning coffee. It's not raining, so that's nice. There's blue skies, a little bit of wind. We had a bit of a rocky night last night. There's a lot of wind out there last night. It's about 8:30 at the moment, so we're the last ones here. Everyone else seems to have left. But that's okay. A little late start. Have our coffee, have our breakfast, have a shower, and then we'll hopefully still no rain, and we'll head out and have a look at some stuff. So just doing a check-in on our batteries here. So we're currently at 79%, 75% fresh, 25% grey water. We've got solar today, so we're currently charging at 1.4 amps. The sun's not long up, so that's why we're not charging so much yet. But that should come back in no time once the sun hits those solar panels, because the sun's actually coming up on the passenger side of the van at the moment, and the solar panels are on the driver's side. So if I'd parked the other way, we'd be getting more solar at the moment, but that's fine. We'll recharge in no time today, so we might actually make it back to 100% today. This cute little bush regeneration garden the locals have obviously set up here. It's very cute. Pretty sure Echo's gone bush somewhere. Echo! Get back here. Yeah, this cute little... They've got all the names of the plants. Little worm castings. Might be like a school project or something maybe. It's very cute. So we're just having a very slow morning today. We're just cruising around at the campsite still. Had a shower, done the dishes. Echo's just having a little sniff around in this garden out here. It's just nice to have sun today. It's a bit windy, but it's just nice to have sun, ultimately. So yeah, we'll head off soon. See what's out there. So we've just driven out to the big grain silos where they ship all the grain out. It's extremely windy here. And there's where they ship them out, all along that big dock there. The ships pull in and they load them up. It's pretty cool. God, it was so windy out there. I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear me speak out there, but that's the big grain silos and the big shipping port where they ship all of their grain out along to the ships. So that was really cool. It's absolutely massive. It's so big. Yeah, so that was exciting. So we're going to head on to our next stop and see what else we can find. The wind is so strong out there, I can barely hold my phone still. It's so loud. There's so many waves crashing in as well. But there's a couple of fishing boats out on the water there, which were really cool. They seemed like so far away in the video, but they were so close when I was standing there. And then you got the big jetty that walks out underneath all of where they ship all the grain out and stuff like that, and then the docking areas off to the right. And then just the big grain silos. They're so massive. I thought the big windmills were big, but these are huge. So we just drove up to like a cliff top area where they're selling all this new land for new housing and stuff like that. And it's kind of up behind that big smokestack. It's got a really good lookout point from up here, so you can see heaps of stuff. It's pretty cool. So we've just found this pet cemetery. So we're gonna jump out and have a little look around. It's pretty windy out there though, so we'll see how we go. There's like little plots drawn up and everything. Echo, wait. It's like a proper little graveyard. So there's a couple of horse graves in here as well. There's dogs, there's cats. It's really cute. Family plot. Okay, that was really cute. There's so many little plaques in there and little dedications to the pets and stuff. There was horses, dogs, cats. There was all sorts of animals in there. It was really, really cool. And they had it laid out like a proper little cemetery, like with little walking tracks. And some people had sunk some good money into their memorials and stuff like that as well too. So that was really cool. Yeah, we spent ages wandering around there. All right, so we've pretty much seen most of Wallaroo. We did another drive around this morning and we've pretty much seen all the cool stuff yesterday. There's just a couple of things we wanted to do today, which we've done now. So we're going to head on to Kadina and see what's happening out that way. So we're just at the Yorke Peninsula Veteran and Community Centre and Military Museum. And they've got these cool planes here. We're just on a very busy road at the moment. It's the main road in. That's pretty cool. And over in that shed there, they've got some like military guns and stuff. Unfortunately, their gates are all closed, so obviously they're not open today. We thought we'd do a quick stop off and have a look. Okay, so we've just pulled into Kadina. We've just pulled into the parklands area in the centre of town here. It's nearly lunchtime, so we might have a bit of lunch and then we'll go for a bit of a wander around the park, maybe around the main streets of town and have a look around. Other than that, there's not much like historical stuff that I can find on the map anyway. So yeah, I think this might just be a lunch stop and then we'll head on. Okay, so we've been for a bit of a wander around out there. We've had some lunch. There's like a school excursion or something at the park. There's kids everywhere and it's bloody freezing out there. So cold. The wind is so chilly. So yeah, so we've been for a bit of a wander. We're probably going to head off now. We're going to head to our last stop for our trip. So it's a bit sad and a bit exciting. So yeah, we'll see you there. So we just found another lookout just past Kulpara, up on top of the hill here before you drive down. So we're going to jump out and go for a little wander and have a look. I don't know if you can hear the wind outside. It is absolutely howling. So I don't think I'll be talking on any of the videos. You might just get some sights.
Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
on a gale out there. So the views were good, but they're not as good as when you're actually driving down the hill. But so yeah, we're gonna kick on now and head to our last stop. Okay, so we've just pulled back into that same stop that we started at for our peninsula trip. Parked in the same spot. We're going to finish our trip in the same place that we started. We're going to spend our last night of our trip here before heading back to Adelaide and back to reality. Alright, so I was just doing some of the numbers for our trip, seeing as we've come back to the start where we began. And on the dash we had roughly 700 kilometres travelled, and it took us roughly 27 hours to travel that 700 kilometres. So that gets us all the way from where we are now, all the way down the peninsula, and then all the way back up again to where we started. So that was pretty cool. Some of the costs. So we still have to top up with petrol again at Port Wakefield to find out our full cost of petrol. But so far we only put half a tank in at $112, which was 54 litres in the tank. And it's got like over 3/4 of a tank left still. So it's probably not going to take all that much to fill back up again. We spent $130 at caravan parks while we were away. So we ended up staying at 4 caravan parks. And we stayed at 4 council run campgrounds, which cost us just under $90 for the 4. We spent a bit of money on food, not because we needed it, but just because, you know, I went into the supermarket and had a wander around and I was hungry, so I bought a few snacks and stuff like that. So I ended up spending just under $120 on food throughout the trip. That also includes, you know, I bought a couple of stubby holders and stuff like that from the caravan parks as a little memento for the trip. So yes, that's kind of where we're at. 10 days. The whole peninsula, yeah, minus a couple of spots really. So that was good fun. We really enjoyed it. So now we're gonna settle in here for the night. It's still really windy. Might have a look at the map and mark out a few places on the map that we went and show you our route that we took. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much our trip done. So yeah, it's a bit sad, but back to reality tomorrow. So I've just marked out on my map here on the wall all the places we actually went and where we stopped. So I'll give you a look. So up here is where we started, which is Federation Park. We travelled all the way down here until we got to Kulpara campgrounds. We stayed the night there, down through all these little places here. Next night we stayed at Stansbury Caravan Park. More travelling. We stayed at Wattle Point Campground, and we did this big one. That was a big day. That was a lot of dirt roads all the way through there till we got to Marion Bay, and we stayed out at Marion Bay there. And we came back up here. We had to skip all of this national park down here because Echo wasn't allowed in. So then our next stop was at Dally Head. That was when we were up on top of the cliff top, and it was super windy and it started raining then. So we came up these dirt roads here and we had to keep ducking in and out to get to the coast. So that was another super long day. Then we spent the night at Port Turton. And by that stage it was getting too wet to do a lot of the dirt roads. So we came up and called into Minleton, where we stayed the night there. And we looked at all the Red Devil stuff with Harry Butler. After that we travelled back out, a few more dirt roads, got out to a couple more spots out on the shoreline there, and came all the way up to Port Victoria and stayed there the night. By that stage it had been raining for what, 3 nights, 3 days, so the roads were pretty washed out. So we decided, let's come inland. We went up through Maitland up to Moonta up here. I'll show you where we are. Moonta up here, and stayed there the night in one of their overnight free camp stays, which was cool. Out to Port Hughes, up to Wallaroo, where we spent the night again in another free camp area. And then today we've just come all the way straight back down here, back to Federation Park again, where we first started. So that's our whole trip just there. Pretty epic. So we only missed a little bit of coastline up here, which we can come back and do another time perhaps. But yeah, so that was our trip, 10 days. I think in total it's going to, by the time I top up with petrol, probably costs like, I don't know, like maybe like $500, maybe just a bit over $500 for the whole trip for the 10 days. So I think that was pretty good. Considering we paid for most of our stops each night, I think we only had, well, we had 3 stops now that we haven't had to pay for, but everything else we had to pay for. So I think we did pretty good with that. It was good fun. All right, so this is it. We're back to where we started our 10-day Yorke Peninsula trip. Clouds are starting to roll in behind me. The wind is blowing in absolute gale still. It is freezing out there. And this is our last night on our holiday. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been watching the videos the whole way through. I know some of them have been quite long. So, you know, we're excited to have you with us, and we had such a great time. We've seen some incredible coastlines. We've learned heaps about local history. We've driven more dirt roads than I can count, and spent some amazing nights beside the ocean. So as much as I'm sad that this amazing adventure is over for now, I'm excited to get back home, get back to work, and start planning our next road trip and see where the road takes us.